The world's unfolding, stories untold. Voices rising and we're breaking the mold. Fearless and bold, we're taking the lead. Empowering minds, that's what we see. Sinar daily, shining bright. News that's bold, news that's right.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Top News Podcast with me, your host Adila Azam. And this is a show where we break down complex topics for your understanding. We bring interesting guests, and today I have a really interesting guest that I want to introduce to you. And we're going to talk about something that people take for granted. But before I introduce the guest, I want to ask you guys, I want you guys to imagine if, let's say, every day when you go out of your house, you go to work, you will take out your rubbish bag, right, and throw it in a rubbish bin. Imagine if you do that every day and no one picks up that rubbish. Imagine the smell, imagine what you see, like rubbish flowing out of the rubbish bin. Imagine that happening for like a week and no one is taking care of that rubbish, right? So that is something that we tend to take for granted. Like for me, myself, every day when I go out of the house, I never really actually think about what happens if no one actually managed the waste in my household or the waste in my neighborhood. And today we're going to talk to someone who is actually responsible for, if you are a Selangor resident, we're going to talk with someone who is responsible to making your household and your neighborhood clean and sanitary and smells really nice. Okay? So I'm here to introduce you to our guest of today, Datuk Haji Ramli Muhammad Tahir, who is the CEO of KDEB Waste Management. Okay, thank you for being here today with us. And can you introduce us about KDEB Waste Management? What is the company all about?
Right. Thank you, Adila. First and foremost, I would like to extend my thank you as well to the Top News podcast today, in particular Sinar Daily as well as Kumpulan Karagraph for inviting me on set today. Now, the company called KDEB Waste Management, we are based in Shah Alam, Selangor. We are owned by 100% by the state government of Selangor through Menteri Besar Incorporated. We have been in the business since 2007, but operationally we are here in Selangor since last 9 years ago. As a matter of fact, we have been given the mandate and a power of attorney to act on behalf of the state government, just to ensure that we can keep Selangor clean at least budget. So what are our roles? No, it's very simple. Selangor now we have close to 8 million people of population, and on top of that there are probably close to 2.4 million taxpayer, meaning to say there are houses in the whole state of Selangor about 2.4 million. Okay, now every day these people will generate waste. So when they generate waste, they expect someone or somebody or the government to collect it. So that's where we play our role. So our role is mainly just to make sure that we can do the waste collection, which has been produced by the whole people of Selangor. We transport it and we have to dispose it at the approved site by the state government. That's number one. Okay. Well, on top of that, not only we manage the waste collection for domestic waste, we also, on the other hand, we have got to do other things as well, in which it will cover road sweeping, bulky waste, grass cutting, clean up the drain. This will fall under scope of work, we call it public cleansing scope of work. So we got to do the waste collection for domestic waste plus the public cleansing of the scope of work. So both of these will generate close to probably nowadays about 10,000 tons of waste per day.
10,000 tons of waste per day.
Yeah, for 2.4 million houses in the whole of inventory of property in the whole state of Selangor, definitely we produce close to 8,000 tons per day. Okay. And another round which will cover the rotten grass, bulky waste, that probably around 2,500 to 3,000 tons per day. So we are being responsible to collect this 10,000 tons of waste per day, which has been produced by the Selangorian or the whole worker, people, resident who are staying, living and working in Selangor. And we have to ensure that it is not being disrupted. We collect it, we transport and we dispose to the approved site, which is in landfill.
So only household but not industrial, or
Well,
industrial included?
well, we are doing only at the moment 2 local council for industrial, commercial and institution waste, which cover our service area into Majlis Pembandaran Kuala Langat,
Okay.
as well as Majlis Pembandaran Kuala Selangor, and also Majlis Pembandaran Selayang. So these 3 local council as well, we have got a big task also, in which we have got to ensure that all this waste being generated at the industrial, commercial institutions, that we need to collect it and send to the landfill as well.
Yeah, it's really important because not only is Selangor the most densely populated
Yep.
state in the whole country, right?
Yeah.
Just now you mentioned 2.4 million houses,
Yep.
but 2.4 million houses and growing, right?
Yep,
Because
yeah.
there's always development happening
Yep.
in Selangor, but at the same time, it is also the most industrialized state
Yes.
in the country as well. So
Yep.
people are definitely looking at you on how to like properly manage waste efficiently,
Yep.
and also responding to like the challenges that keep on happening with the higher density
Yep.
area, right? So how do you actually manage the rising volume of waste in Selangor? When you look at it, like I mentioned, rising number of houses and
Yeah.
households and also
Yeah.
industry. How do you manage that?
Well, I think the most important thing is you must have a good plan. You must have a big, proper plan for long term of how are you going to give your service to cover the density of the population, as well as the increase of the population migrated to Selangor every year. So Selangor being the probably now most developed state in the whole country, we at the same time we are contributing close to 25% of the national GDP. That has given a bite for, I do not know, probably the migration of a lot of school leavers, university leavers, graduates to come and look forward for a job opportunity in the central part of Malaysia, in particular Kuala Lumpur and Selangor. Living in the city now with the rising cost for apartment, condominium, landed property, a lot of graduates and people, they choose to live outside, outskirt a bit of the city. So they are trying to find a better place, which more commendable and affordable. For example, in Selangor.
Yep.
But they will work probably in Kuala Lumpur. But some of them they will work in Selangor as well. So because of the rising of this population, we are talking probably about maybe in between of 2 to 5% every year. That will impact directly on the rise of waste generation as well. So at our end, number one, we must have a good plan for any increase of population. We must we must plan so that we're going to have a nice and workable zones for collection. We must plan for upcoming investment on our capital expenditure when it comes to fleet. We must plan there probably would be an increase of human resources to maneuver and monitor the whole service area. We must plan on how we're going to tackle and deal with complaints and anything coming from the whole taxpayer on the spot within 12 hours or even 24 hours. We must plan that there must be usage of artificial intelligence, AI, in our reporting, in our surveillance of our vehicle. We must plan there must be a proper medium for people to communicate and connect their unhappiness or complaint towards apps, smart apps,
Okay.
or even we must plan, we must have a proper communication center or call center that can take out all the complaints, listing it out, identify, go to the root cause of the problem and fix it and give response back to the complainant. So it's all about planning. We must have a ability to organize all these things, and also we must ensure that the system are up to date so that whatever waste being generated, we should be able to collect it.
I like that. Just now you mentioned the use of AI, technology, and you also have an app, right? I know that you have a centralized command center.
Yep.
Can you like share with us a little bit more about it and how AI is integrated into this? Because everybody is now talking about AI, right? And
Okay.
people tend to use AI for like ChatGPT to help with their work.
Right.
But how does AI work when it comes to waste management? How do you utilize it?
Okay, when we took over this role 9 years ago, it was purely on conservative methodology being done for many, many years. When you talk about waste or rubbish, they only talk about rubbish collector or waste collector.
That's my mental image.
Yeah.
I see the rubbish collector man who will come in the morning and pick
Yeah.
up the rubbish. That's all I see.
Yeah, but when we thought about it,
Yeah.
when you want to make change, there must be something, what do you call that, an A thing that you be able to introduce it. For example, for the layman, their understanding on the rubbish truck, only a plain rubbish truck. But at our end, we thought we have invested over 9 years, close to 350 million. And we want to offer something that this truck is a smart truck, in which we know where our truck is. If they're going to start their routine as early as 5 a.m. a day, we can checkmate them at our command center.
Okay.
That means we can dictate, we can monitor their movement, we can evaluate their performance, how long they're going to run per day operation, how many times they're going to stop for taking rest, how heavy the load they are carrying. It's all we have put a lot of device in our truck. One of the device we call the VMS, which means Vehicle Monitoring System. So in life, Adila, there are two things that you cannot lie. Number one, you cannot lie to yourself. If you're going to have 1 cup of coffee and you had enough, that's it. You can't have 2 more coffee. Yeah? You can't lie to yourself. Number two, definitely you can't lie to the great Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But number three, now you cannot lie to KDEB waste.
Okay.
Because when we fix the VMS in all our truck, we can monitor. If the complainant coming to us through our command center and telling that waste is not being collected, we can go in, zoom in to which area, which house, because we can look at our dashboard that our lorry has passed your house at what time,
Okay.
So I mean, probably you late, you were late, or your helper were late in discharging the waste at front your door.
Yeah.
But and your neighbor got no problem to it. And when you rang us, then we pick it up, and then we know that only your house was not being collected. There's something wrong with you, but it's okay lah. Normally we will sort it out, on the same day. That's number one that we have introduced to all our fleet, that we can monitor, we can dictate, we can ensure that if there is a complaint about our services, we can revert back to them as soon as possible, because we have got the dashboard, the whole
The
system
real-time record.
on a real-time record. Yeah.
Okay.
That's one. Number two, we also have introduced to make easy for people to lodge complaint. Those days, people thought, lori sampah tak datang, and waste not being collected. So it's very hard for them to find numbers for local council, numbers for the waste operator. So when we have introduced this fantastic apps called iClean, in which you can download from your iPhone or your Android, it's easy. You register as a user, and then you try it. You on your GPS. Say you see there is a waste not being collected in front of you, or you just dump anything in front of your bin. You take a photo. You on GPS. You send to iClean. So our operator will pick it up, and then we respond it to you, and then we will determine whether it is a real complaint, and then we will come back to you, and we will notify our people on the ground to settle it ASAP. Then we will notify you lah. So this is fantastic, because sometimes a lot of people, like retired people, over after subuh, they want to have coffee, and then they see this mountain of waste not being collected properly. So what they do, they just, if they already got their iClean on their phone, they download it, they snap the photo and just send it to us. Then we will respond immediately.
People like to be responsible citizens, right? And keep the whole neighborhood clean.
That's this number two. Number three, we have done this exercise. So last year, we want to confirm the number of houses, shops, factory, strata, bungalows, semi-D, terrace house in the whole state of Selangor. So we have got a big vicinity that we need to cover. Those days, we have to do manually. We have to do manually, count one by one,
The
and
houses.
then the houses. And then we will cross-check with the data with the local council based on their valuation of the property of the taxpayer for assessment. But now with fantastic AI, we are using the technology. We can use drone. We can use the satellite and
Image.
GPS. We can count exactly how many houses in Shah Alam right here, right now, with the short period of time. It will give us a spot on and perfect answer how many houses, for example, in Bukit Jelutong, and what kind of houses are there in Bukit Jelutong. From that record, based on the satellite image from our drone and GPS, it will give us the exact number of houses, because the number are very crucial for us to make the plan. How much expectation with generation coming from Bukit Jelutong.
Okay.
Then only we will prepare for our
How many
lorry
fleets, how
fleet,
many
that kind of
drivers,
thing.
how many pickers?
Now we can use this data, and this data is updated based on the new housing come on board.
Right.
So we can store in our office, and it can be a cross-reference for our argument with our client, mainly the local council, for the cost of waste collection for all this inventory and data.
Would you say with technology comes better cost efficiency as well? Because you are a government-owned company,
Yeah.
right? And just now you mentioned investing over 300 million just on the fleet technology, right? So people right now, people are always looking at, okay, how much the government is spending or how much
Okay.
the government is budgeting.
Right.
So would you say that this infusion of technology, especially AI, is helping you manage your costs better?
It is, but the pillar of the cost still rely on the cost of doing the collection based on the capital expenditure being invested to ensure that we can do our job to our best ability. For example, what is the main thing for us to deploy to do collection at your house, for example? Of course, we must have a proper rubbish truck or compactor or the lorry sampah, for example. And there is a cost to it. 9 years ago, this truck said the price was 370,000 ringgit. Nowadays, after 9 years, the price has shoot to 460,000 because of the full model change. Now the truck will be slightly bigger with a better Euro 4 or Euro 5 engine. And then the cost of building the body also has increased tremendously because of the rise of the steel price, for example. And then the cost of diesel, many years ago, we are talking probably about $2 something. Now we are talking about $3 something. It's almost 30% increase for the diesel cost. And then we are talking about minimum pay wage. Many years ago, probably we were talking about 900 ringgit. Now minimum pay is close to 1,700 ringgit.
Yep.
So predominantly, if you talk about rising of cost, even though we are still using AI, but this basic necessity for the main fixed cost, we can't get it rid of. We can't. Because we still have to pay for the fixed cost every day and every month just to ensure that the operation is not being disrupted. But maybe when you talk about complaints, system, monitoring, servicing, reporting, probably on apps, that we probably can save a lot of, without doing paper, the information will
Operational
be...
cost there.
Yes, but...
I'm also quite intrigued to ask, because this year we're seeing a lot of introduction of new policies or rationalization of fees, right? So
Okay.
you see, for example, the electricity tariff,
Okay.
and then you also see, for example, the mandatory contribution for foreign workers.
Foreign
For example, if
worker.
you have foreign workers for EPF,
Okay.
and then you also have SST, the introduction of SST. So how will those impact your operational costs?
Okay, now this is a very tricky question. To be honest to you, on record, now we are the biggest waste collector in the whole country.
Oh,
In terms of size, we are the biggest waste collector. No other company collect 10,000 ton per day waste in the whole country. Only us in Selangor, because we have got a high population density in Selangor. But then again, we are the cheapest waste collector that offers services to the taxpayer. For example, you'll be surprised if our lorry come to your house if you are in Selangor, we are only getting on average between $6.50 to $7 per month per house, for 3 times waste collection. If you times 4 a week in a month, for 12 times, you're going to cost you only $6.50 to $7. If you divide $7 over 12 times, per collection, probably we are going to charge you probably about 65 cents, not even 70 cents. No other company do that in the whole country because we are owned by the state government. So at our end, we are trying our very best to find the formula to match and balance our income and revenue and to cover our expenses, which consistently keep rising
without passing it to the
consumer. So this is the big challenge for us. Because at the end of the day, our appetite is just to ensure that we can keep Selangor clean without hurting the taxpayer pocket. But at the end of the day, we want to give the air service to everyone. But of course, we are struggling also the increase of, as you mentioned earlier, with SST, with diesel, with minimum pay, and any other whether fixed or current cost. But we are owned by the government. As a responsible government, whatever money being collected from tax point of view in terms of assessment for the public, it has to be returned with the good services, and that including waste management to the whole people of Selangor. So we try our very best to keep our cost low. That means our people, some of them, we have to deploy them, maybe more than 1 or 2 scope or job responsibility in the office. If they have got to do probably 1 or 2 extra work, we have cut our pay at the very moderate and minimal. And we are trying our very best to find the match between our income and our expenses.
I have a question. Okay, this is not the larger question, but more of like something that I can relate to personally, which is recently I went to Japan, and I realized that in Japan people actually have to sort out their rubbish at home. And they have combustible, non-combustible, and they have a few other categories, right? If you don't sort out your garbage at home, the garbage collectors actually won't pick up the garbage from your house. Right, so that's like enforcement as well. But I find that really interesting. And it actually requires the consumers to know the type of rubbish that you're putting out there, right? That you're throwing away, to classify them. And I love to shop as well. So one of the things that I do is that in here, when I shop, is that all the packaging stuff, I just throw it in the same rubbish bin as my household waste, like food and all that, right? But I know in other countries you have to separate them. Right. The same goes with, for example, e-waste, right? So nowadays people buy a lot of technology items, and they're fast technology items. They come quite cheap, so people buy them regularly, and people are also throwing them away with other household items, right? What is your view on that? Like, how are they actually different, like e-waste and packaging from other household waste?
Now, if you were to diversify the waste by product, there are probably, I think so, about maybe 6-7 type of waste. Here we are talking about domestic waste, we are talking about bulky waste, we are talking about industrial waste, we are talking about hazardous waste, we are talking about e-waste, we are talking about public cleansing waste, we are talking about hospital waste. There are various waste.
But you handle all of that?
No, at the moment we are only handling 2 type of waste, which is domestic waste and public cleansing and bulky waste. But I mentioned to you that we are taking charge at Kuala Langat and Kuala Selangor and Selayang for the industrial. Now, what I meant for industrial, if there is a factory in Kuala Langat, say they produce a product, but at the same time, probably 10% of their production would be in the form of residual. And they will park it at the back of the plant or factory, then we collect it. They have probably 1,000 worker at the plant. They're going to have lunch, dinner, or breakfast. They're going to throw the styrofoam or packaging, put in the bin. We're going to collect it. But we are not dealing with hazardous or chemical and dangerous waste because we have yet to get the license from DOE to do it. Now, I want to zoom into this e-waste. No doubt we can't run away with electrical goods in our life. Just name it. Phone, iPod, iPad, iPhone, notebook, laptop, personal computer, PC, probably hard disk, smartwatch, and what else? I don't know. Probably earphone, gadget, and stuff. Yeah. Now, this product is being invented for the consumer to use it, and they got their lifespan. Probably at certain age and cycle, you can use it. What do? You're going to throw it away. Now, for developed country, they have managed to educate and creating awareness to the whole population that it is their responsible, like you mentioned earlier in Japan, they got to segregate it by themselves, or they call it segregation at source. Unlike here, we are still struggling to do it. So no matter how hard or how big the campaign has been carried out by the government or any other agency or even by us, people just didn't bother. So what they want to do, they're going to dump in everything in one bin. Because to them, if they're going to separate it, there will be another cost being incurred because they got to buy another bin or another plastic bag, for example. So for e-waste, the numbers of e-waste parts, material is amazing. It's just that we do not have any specific data what kind of tonnage that being generated by Selang Orient or even by KL people or even by the nation because because it has been spread and dumped it together. I think I don't know. We are talking probably about 40, 50, 60% in the same black bag. But that is the material that you can recover from most.
So you can reuse material from e-waste.
Yeah, from that e-waste itself. For example, you are talking probably about aluminium. You're probably talking about copper. You're probably talking about gold. You're probably talking about any other metal that can be processed again and produce another byproduct that can turn into a new revenue. You don't have to produce it organically. Yeah? But people has undermined this material in this e-waste. That is why if you look at it, if your phone collapse, what do? You just throw it in the bin. Number one, you don't want to sell it as a second-hand phone because you need to erase the whole data, secret, whatever it is in your phone. So the best thing is you just dump it in the black bin. Yeah? But in this phone, there is pure material that if you can manage to extract it, it will give a good price for you, so to speak. So that is why we at our end, now we are looking seriously for us to become and get a license and certificate by Jabatan Alam Sekitar, DOE, Department of Environment, that we can be the e-waste collector.
Okay.
My team now, we are working very hard to get this license, to start the ball rolling. We want to build our material recovery facility just for the e-waste collection. If we be able to get it, we want to get involved in this business because we know the fact is, if we don't do it, who's going to do it?
Yeah, that would be a game changer. I live nearby PJ, and as far as I know, there's only one area where I can actually throw away e-waste, like responsibly, not with household items. There's only one place that I know, right? And just now you mentioned that people just don't really care. But it could also be that people just don't know where to go, right? And
Okay.
there's just not enough facilities. There's
Right.
just not enough avenues for them
Yep.
to actually recycle responsibly
Okay.
or manage their waste responsibly. Do you also agree with that?
Well, I definitely agree. You know, sometimes you can't blame the people because the drive, I believe, it must come from the authority who's got the power, the ministry, the agency, or even the government company who are deal with this business.
Yep.
Policy can be enacted at the parliament, but for implementation, it must be done by the government with the help of the private and the government link company, up there, so to speak. If you ask for the public, most of us here in Malaysia, we are only a good user.
Yep.
Most of us. We are not become inventor like Steve Jobs, invent iPhone, but we are very expert in using iPhone, iPad, and if you ask me, this facility infrastructure must be prepared and carried out by the government or the relevant agency. You mentioned about, as far as your knowledge is concerned, there's only one place for you to throw legally your e-waste.
Yeah,
Kan?
that I know that they will recycle and
Yeah.
that there's a whole campaign behind it and segregation of waste and all that. I know there's only one place that I can go.
Yep.
And then even though I know that that place exists, usually when the time comes for me to throw away, let's say e-waste, I wouldn't immediately go there, right? Because it's a far drive from home.
Okay.
And I have to like consciously make that choice. I'm not giving excuses,
Okay.
but also at the same time, I feel like, would you say that one of the reasons why there's a lack of facilities or avenues for people to recycle is because there's also limited players that provide such services?
Okay. This one I have to admit it. We, the whole country, we always undermine the importance of how we deal with waste management, including the facility that are required for disposal in all places that can be accessed to anyone. You just name it. How many big facility that are modern, using the latest technology available in this country when it comes to disposal? You can count with your fingers. How many material recovery facility for recycle, for example, that are available for the public to send their recycle? How many? You can count any as well. Because of the view for many years, waste is dirty and waste is not money. When it is dirty, what do you have to do? You have to take it out and throw it as soon as possible and put far away from your house, from your office, from your service area, for example. On the other hand, unlike the developed country in Western or even in Eastern like Japan, probably even now in China, in Singapore, our closest country, they don't go far because they know the fact with the technology, you don't have to build the facility away from the residential area.
Yeah.
Because with the right solutions,
Yep.
with the confirmed technology which being done in other countries as well, you can build this facility right in the middle of the city or ahead or right at the corner of your
Yeah.
housing estate without getting people annoyed
Yep.
and without disrupting people's livelihood
Yeah.
and whatsoever, because it is clean, it is sensible, it is sustainable, it is manageable, and it is nice. For example,
Yeah.
you just got back from Japan. Japan, if you ask me, one of the cleanest city or country in the whole world.
Yeah.
Because their mentality is number one, but the drive of the government to build facility like waste to energy to almost every big city, medium city, and small city.
Yep.
They don't require at all a place called landfill for disposal of waste, because they built a fantastic intelligent plant that can process the waste from waste, and they recover energy. They sell back to the so-called company like TMB whatsoever, and they make some money. They discharge only at the minimum level allowed for probably some gas, whatever it is, which is being controlled. They discharge only very minimal residual, and at the end of the day, waste. They sort out the waste problem, and they produce energy and they make money. And they built this city right in the middle of the city.
Right.
So
Okay.
these are the things that we lack here in this country, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that
Is that something that you are looking into building in the future, waste to energy?
yes.
Because just now you mentioned what you do is basically collection,
Yep.
right? And also you clean the area like the drainage, the drain.
Yep.
But you did not mention the end of the
Right,
ecosystem,
okay.
right? Which is waste to energy or owning the plant
Okay.
or owning the landfill. So is that something that you are looking into as
Yes,
well?
indeed, Adila. So what happened is that we have been doing this business for many, many years. And our forte is, of course, the collection, transporting to the approved site of disposal. But after a while, we thought that why can't we get involved in the later part of the waste cycle, which is the disposal. We have been running around the whole world. We look at the technology, we look at the country. We have made a lot of comparison between various type of disposal. We are talking about probably incineration, material recovery facility, gasification, anaerobic digester, microbiotechnology, and a couple of others technology. And we found out the latest and probably the most used by most of the country for disposal, for sustainable. We are talking about waste to energy, moving great stocker, incineration. So now we have just completed our EIA and presented to DOE about a month ago. So we are in the process of waiting for the result for us to build a plant that can produce close to 2,400 ton of waste per day, located in Bandar Tasik Puteri in Rawang, Mukim Rawang in daerah Gombak. So we are waiting for the EIA study. If it is find fit and approved by the relevant authority, we want to build this plant, and this plant should be able to serve close to 2,400 ton of domestic waste, and from probably about 5 or 6 local council. So that means we're getting involved directly in the disposal. And now, beforehand, we collect, we transport it, we will, with a heavy heart, we dump it in the landfill.
Yeah.
So now we thought we don't have to dump in the landfill.
Yep.
We save the land, we save our truck, we clean up the facility, we can produce some energy, we limit the discharge of dioxin or whatever it is.
The greenhouse gas.
The greenhouse gas, and we can reap some revenue from the sale of electricity to TMB in the form of power purchase. And we make the environment clean, and we are very happy to be in this, inshallah.
Right. And is this related to your also approach towards new generation impact? Can you tell me a bit about it?
Yes. In life, Adila, we must keep thinking on how to improve ourselves, our family, our society, and lastly, our country. Because of everyone can think along the same line and be more objective, the usage of diesel for our industry. You imagine how much CO2 being discharged
Yep.
for the internal combustion engine from our 1,500 fleet. That's number one.
Not just the fleet, right? But on the landfill as well.
On the landfill
Yeah.
as well. Now, on our part, we must play our part very well. I mean, to our best ability. If we just sit back and we do nothing about it, there's nothing going to change. So this new impact power generation green technology must be adopted by us, and if we can fit with our modus operandi, we will be very happy to do it. It's just that we need to do some extra R&D. We need to get the board approval to cover some capex for the investment. we must get a proper partner and technology, and we must be able to operate it. And at the end of the day, it will give a lot of benefit, not only for the environment, the people, but at the same time, for that can be a new source of revenue for the company. So
And
that
for the state.
and for the state government as well.
Right. How will this actually impact taxpayers, if you can break it down for me?
Well, when it comes to tax, it is probably
Taxpayers, meaning
okay.
how will it benefit the people of Selangor?
Well, taxpayer. Let me tell you something. If there are probably I don't know, probably 5 million or even 6 million real taxpayer in Selangor, what do they deserve? They deserve a good services from the government because they pay tax to the local council or to the government. Yeah. So if you receive at the receiving end, what do you have to do in return to the taxpayer? For me, if you do not want to change, you're going to do your same old modus operandi, the taxpayer will not be happy with you. And in 5 years' time, they will punish you, for example. Or every day, every month, or even every 6 months, every 1 year, they will voice their unhappiness to the service being granted by the government of the day, for example. So we are talking about public infrastructure, public amenities, utilities, not only water, electricity, road maintenance, facility, public park, and also waste management. We are talking about the whole holistic services that are being expected by the taxpayer. So I personally, if I am in the organization that I can maneuver it, of course I want to give the best to the taxpayer, because to me, if you pay something, you must deserve in return to get the good quality lah. But there is a say in English, you pay peanuts, you get monkey. But a lot of people, they thought all these things come at cheap price. Subsidized. But it doesn't work that way. That is why when you talk about developed country, it's all about tax.
And
They
also
will
taking responsibility
taking
for your own
responsibility
trash,
for
right?
your own trash. Yeah, I mean here our tax rate, I don't know, it varies 26, 27, 28 probably maximum. But in Europe, you are talking about 40, maybe some of the country 50% the tax. But in return, there are a lot of things that the government be able to give to the taxpayer, kan? And most of them are happy and satisfied. It's just that they be taxed higher. I mean, by virtue of accounting, if you earn more, you must be taxed more lah,
Exactly.
kan?
I think about 70% of Malaysians still earn 5,000 ringgit and
Yeah.
less. So I think that would be a bit hard
Yes.
to tax them 40%
Of
of their
course,
income.
of course, yeah.
But I definitely understand where you're coming from as well. And looking at, this big ambition that you have to build your plant, waste to energy.
Okay.
Incorporating more technology in waste management, right? So it seems like this is something that like youth would be interested to be part of, right? Not just as something that as a cost that they want to take up on, like waste management, because it's also about the environment, taking care of the environment, but also as a potential career path or job opportunities. Do you see waste management as a lucrative or an interesting, challenging job, career path for the youth?
Right. I have heard a lot of comment people give about this waste industry. The simplest thing they say, this is a 3D industry, which is dirty, which is difficult, and danger, for example. Yeah. And when it's dirty, people are not interested in it. But my view, you can be a smart waste collector. You don't have to be the waste collector, a real who collect the garbage. You should be able to be a person who manage the whole people. Like what we have now in Selangor, we probably have 700 permanent staff and 10,000 contract worker on the ground crew. I mean, we are managing it. You don't see me do the the waste collection every day, but you need the managers, the CEO to run the business, kan? So I will retire soon. There is a vacant to me. My top guy, my general manager, Hajar Mahfuzah, or whoever it is on board, they are going to retire soon as well. So there will be a vacuum in there as well. So if everyone wanted to be a doctor, everyone want to be a soldier, everyone want to be an architect, everyone want to be an engineer, everyone want to be a politician. So who want to be the waste collector? So my background in finance and banking, but that doesn't stop me to be a good waste collector in running the company as a whole. So my advice, if you are interested in this business, you must be serious in it. You must be very articulate in it to running the numbers, because the cost is higher, getting higher and higher, but the money you receive are very little from the taxpayer. You must be able to have that technology driven in your mind to embed the latest AI technology for you to get more and efficient services to be given to the public. Don't be shy if you work with the waste management. I mean, my son, when he went to school and he wrote on his file, the report card, said, Father Ramli Muhammad Tahir, occupation, kutip sampah. So then the teacher was looking at me, like, are you, sir, are you really kutip sampah kan? Oh, waste collector. Yeah, I do a waste collector, but I'm not. Bukannya I kutip, for example, kan, but
There's
I'm managing the company.
There's nothing to be ashamed of, lah.
There's
Is that what you're
nothing
saying?
to be ashamed. And in our region as well, it is very important for us to take it seriously on cleanliness, kebersihan, kan?
Yes, correct.
So we are very happy to be part of this society that look into kebersihan, kan? For the youngsters, there is a lot of opportunity. I've seen a lot of people make millions from doing recycle, from using back the waste that people throw away, and it become a good money for them, which people don't expect it. It can be done to that manner, you know. I was reading this article about 2 years ago. There was one company involving in e-waste, and they sold the company to another new shareholder. You'd be surprised, the e-waste company was sold like almost 300 million.
Wow.
I mean, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, this is an industry that is as important as any other industry, because humans will never stop producing waste, correct?
Yeah.
And we are actually producing even more waste than ever. I think Malaysia is the second highest in ASEAN per capita to produce waste per person. And so that means that we're going to keep on producing waste and more waste. So there's going to be a huge market for it. There's already a huge market for it.
Right.
But the issue is the formula.
Do you know that the formula? Do you know that 5 years ago, during COVID, 2020, what happened to this country? The whole economy, almost the whole collapse, because you can't during COVID, you can't go out. You are stopped from going to office. You can't do your business at the shop lot. Almost every supermarket, shopping mall are down. Not until the government changed their policy. But people are still eating. People still drinking. People still produce waste every day. And the waste industry, we got no choice. With mask, with the approval given by the authority, we still have to drive our lorry, our roro. We still have to push our people to go and pick waste every day without tanpa berhenti lah.
Yeah, you were also the frontliner during COVID, but the frontliner that people actually don't notice, right?
Don't notice.
Like how I opened this episode, actually, people don't notice when your rubbish is being picked up, right? People take it for granted. But imagine a whole week of not having your rubbish picked up, of having
it
the
will be a
street,
disaster,
right, littered with rubbish. Then you will realize, oh, it's very important. It's very, very important.
So that shows this is they call it this industry is industry that falls under this category, a recession-proof industry.
Recession-proof industry. So that's also something that people who are interested to enter this industry, whether as an entrepreneur or as a talent, that they can think about, is that this is an industry that will always be relevant and is recession-proof.
And you know, if you look at the Japanese, they are very concerned on the cleanliness. Even you are 5 years old, 10 years old, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, even 80 years old, they still do their cleanliness as a priority in their daily
Yeah.
life. You watch football, the stadium will be packed with the fans.
Yeah.
They're going to have soft drink, they're going to have food, they're going to have fries, whatever it is, But when the moment they leave the stadium, everybody become so responsible to it and make sure that the stadium are clean.
Yeah.
They're picking back all the waste they generate by
Yeah.
themselves and make sure the stadium are clean. So look at here in this country. If you watch football,
Yeah.
people will dump all these, cup, papers,
Rubbish, yeah.
rubbish, wrappers, like nobody business.
Yep.
You look at the cleaner in Japan, you'd be surprised. Their cleaner, when you look at them, 60, 70 years old, and they don't mind to do it because to them, it is very important to have a good life. And to start to have a good life, you must ensure you are clean. The environment are clean. The room, the area, all are clean.
How do you suggest it seems like for the Japanese this is part of their lifestyle, it's part of their habit as well,
Yeah.
right? How do you advocate for Malaysians to actually incorporate or actually build on this habit of recycling, of cleanliness, of having the responsibility to take care of your own rubbish? Because
Okay.
when I traveled to Japan, for example,
Yeah.
it was very difficult for me to actually find rubbish bins.
Rubbish bin, okay.
So because I couldn't find rubbish bins,
Right.
I'm very mindful of what I consume.
Okay.
Because I have to keep the packaging, or
packaging,
any
the
of the
wrappers,
seal, the
whatever.
wrappers and all that. I have to keep it in my bag.
Yep.
And I need to have like a separate, maybe a small bag to keep all my rubbish in until
Okay.
I arrive at the hotel to throw
Okay.
it. Right? So what is your suggestion, or what are your advice, right, on how we can incorporate?
All right. My advice is simple. When you are thirsty, if you don't mind, can I drink my water first for a few seconds? Sorry. Now, my advice is very simple. The Malay are good with coming out with a lot of peribahasa. What are the most popular peribahasa in Malay when we speak about the topic that you mentioned? Kalau nak melentur buluh, biarlah ia dari rebung. That means if you want to do anything in life, to give knowledge, to put up your principle, to enhance the awareness, to give authority to anyone, it has to start from the early days. Now, here in this country, I don't deny the fact the government, public university, we as the family, as the father and mother, we are trying our very best to educate our young kids, our babies, our growing kids to become youth and adult, that they must be sensitive when it comes to waste management. It has to be done from the early days. Now, how many programs, if you look at being done at school, at university, being accepted and supported by the public itself? For example, the Japanese, every day, they will ensure there will be a gotong royong by the whole classroom for the class. Is it been done here at our school? Maybe twice a day, maybe 3 times, 3 days once, maybe once a week. How many times the Japanese, they will enforce the rule for their children to, if there is a waste in their room, in their own bathroom, their toilet, it is their responsible to segregate it, bring it downstairs,
Yeah.
and put it in the proper bins.
I think I remember, it's interesting that you mentioned cleaning toilet and,
Okay.
and incorporating responsibility among children, because I remember, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a couple of years ago, there was a proposal to get primary school children to learn how to clean their own school bathrooms, right?
bathroom,
School
okay.
bathroom, just to incorporate a sense of responsibility. And I think that proposal received a lot of criticism from the people, right? So that means people are also not ready for it. What would you say if, let's say, you are proposing for, let's say, for example, for kids to learn
Okay.
how to be responsible,
Right.
learn cleanliness, learn to clean their own bathroom at school, and people are criticizing that idea, how would you rebut the criticism?
Well, to me, it is very simple. You cannot deny the fact sometimes you have to treat a certain level of people with certain level of treatment. You can't force kids to become labor. But now we are not talking about forcing kids become labor, because these kids, they are very good in using phone. If they are, even if they are 4 or 5, even 6 years old, they are even better phone user than us.
Yeah.
If they are good in this manner, why can't we make sure they are good also in personality, character, in dealing with cleanliness, in dealing with they got to give their hands dirty to ensure that the house is clean, the class is clean, the toilet is clean, the whole society is clean. I don't see it any wrongdoing for
Yeah.
us, provided we must do it together with them.
Yeah.
It means you can't just point your finger and asking this young kid to do it, but at the same time you do
don't do it.
nothing. So the best thing, you do it.
Lead by example.
Lead by example.
Okay.
So before you ask them to do it, you must do it together.
Yep.
If you have done it, then I don't see there is a conflict,
Yeah.
or people will say we are abusing the children to clean up their toilet, bathroom every day, whatever it is, because we are the user. Sooner or later, they are going to grow up,
Yep.
and they will have to do the same thing to the younger generation.
generation.
Yeah, it's the same thing,
Yeah.
Adila.
Speaking of like leading by example, do you currently, does KDEB Waste Management currently have any programs with the youth or with children
Oh,
to
yeah.
incorporate recycling?
Yeah, we do have a lot of programs
Okay.
ever since we have been established many years ago. Almost every weekend we are doing gotong royong
Okay.
with the residential, the whole area of Selangor. We work closely with each local council. We work closely with each member parliament. We work closely with each state assemblyman. We work closely with the ahli majlis. We work closely with schools, with universities, with joint management body.
Okay.
We work closely with NGOs. We work closely with many parties almost every weekend, the whole week as well. So what happened is that our role not only limited to discharge our prime role as the waste collector and transport it to the approved landfill, but at the same time we have been invited by many institutions to give a talk. I think about a month ago, I was so engrossed with my staff. They were invited to UiTM Shah Alam, and they were telling me there were about 3,000 students malam tu dengar dia punya talk on recycle and kind of thing lah. Dia kumpulkan semua orang. One, I've been given the space also in numbers of university in the whole Malaysia, not only in Selangor. So what happens is we have to drive ourselves as the main player. Not only we transferring this waste from their house to the landfill, we also need to transferring our knowledge on creating awareness about 3R, 4R, 5R, about recycle, about reduce of waste, about green technology, about sustainable environment, about sustainable development goals, about many more things that we have to do it by ourselves.
Yeah. Datuk, to wrap up our discussion today,
Yep.
right, do you have any parting message to viewers, especially youth and especially people who are interested in waste management?
Well, I have this word for everyone here. We live this world, for temporary. Even though it is for temporary, it doesn't mean that we can abuse this world, like nobody business. As we only live in borrowed time. Why don't all of us here sit back and look up for the future, have a purpose when it comes to waste management? Why don't we improve and upgrade and have a leapfrog like the one that we have in the Western country, who are clean, who are very nice to see the environment. Even you look at Japan, you can have a Japan as your role model, that everybody is sharing the same responsibility when it comes to waste management, because you don't need to have a proper bins provided by the government or by the agency at the whole alleyway, because if you are going to produce the waste, you're going to put it in your bag,
Yeah.
and you bring back home and dump it. So you don't need to have that.
Yeah.
Why don't we agree to a term that this place is our place? So all of us is the taxpayer, the government, the waste collector. If you work closely, we can beautify the whole environment. We can share this responsibility. We can extend it to our young generation, so that they will not make the same mistake that probably we have done many years ago, and we can transform this country into a better country who is livable, sustainable, and been respected by any other visitors that come as a tourist to this country. When they go back, they say, Malaysia, wow, Malaysia is so clean. It's so nice. I would love to come for vacation in Malaysia. I would love to come and bring my bosses to look into business opportunity in Malaysia, to invest. That will spur the whole economy of the country, because the country is clean.
Yeah.
A lot of people has undermined.
There's a cascading effect to cleanliness. That's what you're saying.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You see, if you go to, I don't want to mention any name, you go to any other country, you come for a visit, and then you see the country is dirty, you're not going to stay there for
A
1
long
week,
time, yeah.
1 month. You're not going to put your money to do it. No. You go come back, you say, don't go to this country because it's dirty. Don't go to there, So these are the things that I think this shared responsibility must be seen by anyone, by everyone here,
Okay. Datuk, thank you for that very insightful parting message. Leaving the world a better place than when you found it,
Yeah.
correct? Than
Thank you.
when you first arrived to it. So I think that's a really beautiful message and really deep for waste management. Actually, you don't really think about it with such depth, but actually cleanliness is not only a responsibility, but it's a reflection of the society. It's also a way to actually attract investors, attract tourists. It's also a reflection of your identity, for example, as a Muslim majority country, like you just
indeed.
mentioned, right?
Spot on,
So
Adila,
I
spot
think
on.
that's
Thank you
a
very
really
much,
beautiful parting message. Datuk Haji Ramli, thank you for
Thank you very
spending
much.
time with us in the podcast. And to our viewers, don't forget to subscribe to Sinar Daily social channels. And don't forget to watch us again. And we are open to your feedback, and please suggest to us what kind of topic that you want us to cover next time and what sort of guests you want us to invite. Comment on our videos and comment on our social channels. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm Adila Azam. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
The world's unfolding, stories untold. Voices rising and